Good morning and welcome to a new idea that I had. I really truly enjoy traveling. I like to travel all over the world and all over the country. Um, I also like to take photographs. I have large amounts of photos and things of that nature. When I take trips, photos, videos, and we do some pretty interesting stuff, I think. So why not share it with the world? So today's journey is going to be a journey down Route 66. We took this trip 2 years ago, uh, and it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. It was very, very long. Um, we actually drove about 4,000 miles. So we started up here in Detroit, which is cut off on this map. Picked up Route 66, went down. We went into Kansas to see some family and friends. Then we picked it back up. We deviated quite a bit once we got into places like New Mexico and Arizona. And then we drove all the way to California and then went up to Las Vegas and flew home from Las Vegas. I put some of the Vegas pictures on, and I'll kind of explain what everything is. I left out California because there's so much in California that will probably be a later stream with a later topic. So buckle your seatbelt and let's get on the road. Same thing with Chicago and Illinois. It's fairly new to me, or it's not. It's not something that's new to me. I've been to Chicago and I've been to Illinois several times, so those would be better served as a completely different trip, in my opinion. So let's get started. Like I said, Illinois, birthplace of Lincoln. There's a ton of history. Obviously, Chicago is its own city and has its own craziness in it. So we there's plenty there. And if this is well loved, then I'll do another video like this of specifically Illinois. So we come to the first state where we really have something. Route 66 in Missouri is not something that's like highly, like it's signed. You know it's there. You can easily get to it, but it's not something that is crazy or has a lot of attractions. They do have a very funny attraction though. So give me one moment. Okay, my apologies. So back to Missouri. We are going to start in Missouri. They had a very funny thing, and that is Uranus, Missouri. So Uranus has a fudge factory, which is just hilarious. It's a small roadside attraction. They have a bunch of signs. They had the Fudge Factory. They had a Carnival Freak Show. I didn't include a bunch of pictures of it because I couldn't find them because they weren't in the original cut. But anyways, so pretty hilarious. So it's like a Carnival Freak Show. So they had the, you know, bearded lady, which I guess is not that crazy anymore. But strong man. They had a magician, things like that. Sword swallower. Just a really, just kind of a kitschy, cool place to stop off. As far as this trip, that was about the only thing in Missouri that was really worth doing. Our next state is the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the route was very long and really quite boring, if I'm being honest. I was not a fan. There were cities, but none of the Route 66 stuff that we were trying to take in on this trip. So one of them was the Bone Museum. So they have bones of almost every creature on Earth, almost. This is a bear, and it was pretty neat. It was worth stopping by. So, and the only other thing there was the bison. So there was bison or buffalo in pastures. So, of course, a picture of one of those guys, two of them. So, the next state was the great state of Texas. Now, Texas had. Oh, my logo's still behind here. Texas had a. I mean, Texas is a great state. There's a lot there. I could make an independent video about that too, and probably will. One of the cool things in Texas, when the first thing on the route, this is a line of all of the states, and it's an individual picture. So it starts, well, the end is Santa Monica Pier. Oh, I knew it was going to do that. Okay, give me 1 second, because I'm going to have to add a second one. For some reason it cuts off and won't allow you to put that many photos in there, so Okay, so I apologize for that. For whatever reason, I cannot add more than a certain number of images. So, I am just setting this up again, and we'll have to do them like piece by piece, and I'll talk in between to make it not ridiculous. So again, here's Texas. Route 66, Santa Monica is the end of the pier. And then it has a painting for every individual state. So California has the Santa Monica Pier and some hot rod cars. Arizona has, some cactuses, a car, some cool stuff like that. So, really cool. And I'm not good at multitasking. Trying to make it so it's not, there we go. Alright, so I'll get working on that. This is New Mexico. Again, we have, the theme is kind of, older vehicles. New Mexico has a lot of landscape, a lot of desert, and a lot of wide open space. I can only put like 5 pictures on each one? That's so stupid. That's frustrating. I guess we're doing them 5 at a time. This is terrible. Okay, so let's see if I can... Sorry about this, guys. Figuring it out. So let's take these off. Oh, that seemed to work if I just take them... Was it switching them? Sorry, I'm learning. Yeah, it's switching them. So, I'll just have to do it that way. Which seems ridiculous, but we'll make it work. So, all of those pictures were the different states that you cross through on Route 66. Like I said, Kansas we went through just briefly. I didn't add anything because there's no pictures there. It is flat and not much to see. But so getting deeper into Texas, you get to the Conoco Fuel Station. And if anybody's seen the movie Cars, this is the same gas station that they used in the movie. So this is where they got it from. And if you didn't know, a lot of the Cars movie was based on Route 66. So this is the actual gas station, and there's the old Route 66 sign. You have the fuel pumps and stuff like that. So a really cool nod to the past that they've kept around. So this photo is I took it just to show how awesome Texas is. This is just a rest area in Texas that we stopped at, and the view is gorgeous, really well put together. And this giant circle in the middle here is the seal of Texas. Hey, unicorn. Hopefully you just got here and didn't see my ridiculous mess up. Learning Streamlabs. So this is the Bug Ranch. So this is off the side, and this obviously isn't a bug, but there are several slug bugs or VW beetles. And these buildings and the cars and stuff like that, you not only can paint, you're encouraged to paint on them. So you paint your name or paint a picture with spray paint. Yeah, don't go back. It was like 8 minutes of me trying to figure out the slideshow thing. So apparently it only lets you add 5 pictures. So I'm making it work this way. So this is a picture of the ranch where you can tag. They encourage it. They sell spray paint in the gift shops. They sell, spray paint. There's a roadside spray paint place where you can buy spray paint. And they encourage you to tag and paint on these specific buildings and cars. I think I have another picture. Yeah, so here we go. This is the Bug Ranch. This is where the VW beetles are, and of course we spray painted just about every one of them. Kids loved it. It was really fun. So and just another picture of the Bug Ranch. So they just buried cars in the ground and people spray paint them. This is the Second Amendment cowboy. If you're familiar with the United States, we really love our Second Amendment, and we're really excited about it. So this is the Second Amendment cowboy, and he's huge, and the actual Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is posted on the plaque on the bottom near his feet. So, and there are several different Cadillacs behind this Second Amendment cowboy that have different historical significance. But this one's slightly more famous, I guess. This is the Cadillac Ranch. So same thing, a bunch of cars, they just stuck them in the ground, and there's actually a truck that looks like a food truck, but they're selling spray paint and shirts and stuff like that. And you just come out and you tag these vehicles. You get to paint on them. So, and it's in the middle of nowhere, out in the field. And as you can see, there's all kinds of paint on the ground and all kinds of caps and stuff. Like, there are spray paint cans everywhere. So probably not good for the environment, but it's Texas, so. This is a giant branding iron, world's largest branding iron. There's a lot of world's largest on Route 66, so this is the Texas branding iron, and it was next to a museum, like a Route 66 museum, that didn't really have a rhyme or reason. It was a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing, but it was an interesting thing, to say the least. I mean, it was pretty cool. So I'm grabbing the next one here. Are you serious? No, you're not going to let me do that. Oh, there we go. So that's the world's largest branding iron. So as we leave Texas, we make our way to the state of New Mexico. This is where we took a detour off Route 66 to go down to several places. One was Roswell, New Mexico, where the alleged UFO crash happened. So a couple things about Roswell. One, it is so far from anything else. Like, it was like 3.5 hours off the highway down this road where it was just crazy. It's the second thing about Roswell. It is not what you think it is. Like, in the movies, they portray it as this, like, mobile home out in the middle of the desert with nothing around, and there's, like, a restaurant. No, it's a huge city. I compare it to, like, Lansing, Michigan, because I'm from Michigan, so it is a big city. They do give some nods to it. There's the International UFO Museum, and as you can see, even their light posts are little alien heads. The McDonald's, I didn't get a picture of it because it was hard to stop because it was busy. But the McDonald's is a spaceship. So there's other things. And I guess these pictures could be turned, but you get the picture. It's all right. So this is the Dunkin' Donuts with a massive alien guy holding up the sign. So they give some nods to it, but it was largely not noticeable. So this gets out into the desert a little bit more. And I believe this is the volcano. So there's a volcano. Fire and Ice Volcano is what they call it. And we'll take a closer look at that. This is just more of the desert. This is pretty much what New Mexico looks like. It's just barren wasteland all throughout. Again, just some more landscape from... I like taking pictures off the side of the road. Pretty landscape. This is by the giant Air Force base that they have there. This is the world's largest pistachio. It's obviously not real because then it would be ridiculous, but it looks cool. It's pretty big. They have... I'm not a fan of pistachio, but they sold these massive, like, ice cream sandwiches that I guess were pretty good. And my kids both needed their own, and they were massive, and they took, like, 2 bites out of it and waste. But anyways, it was a fun stop. It was just a random stop. Yeah. And there's, like, all kinds of pistachio trees or plants, whatever they are, behind there. So this is White Sands, New Mexico. So this was a really cool place. And one of the places I always wanted to take in. It is White Sand. It's by... Like I said, the Holloman Air Force Base is right there. Big Air Force town. But White Sands is a missile test range where they tested a lot of the powerful weapons, and still do. And we accidentally ended up on a military base, and yeah, it was kind of it was kind of funny. But yeah, so anyways, the whole thing's like a military base, but also it's a national park, and you can sled. Anybody who's familiar with snow, you can sled down these dunes, and it's just really cool. It was like 130 degrees American. It seemed, I think it was 119, something like that. It was 130, I think, at Hoover Dam, but it was really hot, and you really have to climb to get to the top. So the sand was really cool, though. Like it was almost cold, and it was odd, but yeah, the outside temperature was like 119, I think, that day. So hot. And that's just another picture of the dunes. So these go back, there are tons of them. And this is stopped on the side of the road to take a picture of Holloman Air Force Base. So that's just a giant military base in the middle of the desert. I don't remember exactly what this is. Probably just a side of the road thing. So this is Spaceport America. So, as known, I love space. So this is where Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit have their hub, and they generally give tours, but we're in the middle of COVID, so yeah. I don't get why, but the sand was so cold, like, and it was so hot. Like I don't know what it was, but yeah, I mean, if you go to the beach or something, it's hot, like the sand's hot, but for whatever reason, whatever kind of sand it was, it's really cold. So kind of refreshing, um, but yeah. So this is Virgin Galactic, Virgin Orbit's hub. They launched their rockets. They actually strapped their rockets to an airplane and then launched them from altitude, and that's kind of unique. So this is their space plane. So they attach this to an aircraft, like a 747. I think it's Galactic Lady or something like that. And they take it up to altitude to get out of the dense air that is close to the Earth, and has a big rocket engine on the back of it, and it just shoots off. So, and this is a tourist-centric vehicle, so there's no scientific value to it. It's just to say, hey, I've been to space, and we can debate at a different time what is space and where does it begin. But if you want a cool trip, I think it's like 120 grand right now to go up there. So good luck. Buy me one too while you're at it. So this is, again, just a random stop for me on the highway. This is what this part of New Mexico looked like. This is, excuse me, I had to cough. So this is on the way to Los Alamos, the national laboratory where the nuclear weapons were developed. And I just thought it was cool to see the road that went up there. Weird area, lot of military, a lot of restricted areas, a lot of places you weren't supposed to stop or anything like that. So all right, I'm gonna hold you to that. So this is same kind of deal here, where the road that takes you up there. My So my son, my oldest son, is a big fan of snakes. So, of course, in New Mexico, we had to stop and see the world's longest rock rattlesnake. So, it is extremely difficult to get here, to be able to get out and take a picture of it, because they don't make it easy. There's no pull offs or parking, and that was, both those streets were pretty busy. So I kind of just pulled off to the side, jumped out, and took a picture. So, but yeah, it's huge. It's really long, and it's just in a random spot. There's no fanfare to it. It's just it's just there in the middle of a median. So, so now we're getting into the volcano. There's a dormant volcano, fire and ice volcano, that we hiked to and took in. So we'll get closer to that. This is just another scenic view of New Mexico. Oh, I guess we'll go to the Fire and Ice volcano later. This was just I just liked the building. It was pretty. It's in a old mining town in New Mexico. Small town. There's a couple gift shops, and then most of it was abandoned. Just another pretty picture. Again, I thought this was really, really just a neat picture. So I like taking pictures. This was a railroad bridge. We were just outside of Santa Fe, and Santa Fe Railway here in the States. I just liked it, so my family's used to that. If I like something, I'll just stop and take a picture. Okay, so now we're getting into the volcanoes. So this is a dormant volcano in the middle of New Mexico, and as we see here, so these are different lava flows and stuff that have happened over time. And we hiked this. It's just a different feeling, because like all these are like hard rocks. So in the foreground, random tree again. Just liked it. So this is actually inside of the volcano, and this is to the left side. So to the right is the actual caldera part. But just what a dormant volcano looks like. And so there's the actual caldera of the volcano. Really big, massive, and it's fallen into itself. So just neat to stand on one, neat to walk around one, even if it's not dormant. So, and here's some more of the surrounding area, the lava that hardened and broke apart. So, and this was the most interesting part of the volcano. So, underneath the volcano, because of the lava tubes and the way it's positioned, there is a giant ice hole. So there's a giant hole, and when you walked, it's a wide open hole, but when you walked into the hole, you could feel the cold air coming off you, which is really refreshing. So I guess all the way back to the native people, they used it as a place to get ice. So the ceiling, and it's just the cooling and the speed of the air coming through the ice tubes causes it to cool down enough where ice forms, and as we'll see in a second here. So this is like a 12-foot deep pool of just solid frozen ice. So I wanted to skate on it. They told me no. But oh, I thought there was another ice. But anyways, just another picture I took of some formations. And okay, this lies. This is not New Mexico. It's in the wrong one. But that's perfect. It's a perfect segue to Arizona. I probably just put that in the wrong. So I'll grab the rest of Arizona here. Maybe. So this is in Arizona, so leaving New Mexico, and this is the Canyon Diablo meteorite crater. So Tinmanfaya? I think that's how you say that. That's neat. Yeah, they never make those drives comfortable, like up the mountains or up the it's always nerve-wracking. And I'm always the driver, so oops. Don't mess that up. There we go. But yeah, this one, it was like, I think it was like a 4-mile hike around the entirety of to get to the fire side, the volcano side, and then the ice cave. So it's all very much blocked off, and you had to walk it. I think it was like 4.5 miles. So in the really hot weather, we went early enough where it wasn't terrible. But so anyways, this is the Canyon Diablo meteorite crater in Arizona. So many years ago, a huge rock hit here and caused this giant crater. It is massive. Unfortunately, and I guess you could have, but it was fairly expensive to actually go into the crater because it's a research crater now, and there's several schools that have different things there. So and it was hot by this point of the day, and we were just not feeling it. So, oh, before I close on New Mexico, we also went whitewater rafting down the Rio Grande River. Class 4 rapids with how old would he have been? 5 and 6 year old. So that was fun. They enjoyed it. So yeah, that's like the mountains. There's mountains in Tennessee that are like that, where it's just a straight drop off. The Appalachian Mountains. Just crazy. So nerve-wracking. So I forgot where I was at. Oh yeah, whitewater rafting. I might throw that video up because I took a GoPro video. But that was fun. Our guide was a very interesting fellow that dug a hole underneath of a bush and lived in a hole under a bush. And he was a very interesting character. Great at what he did. Really funny. But yeah, showed us as we were floating by it on the whitewater rafting, his bush where he lives in the hole. So, yeah, whatever. So, but he was an interesting character for sure. So anyways, back to the Canyon Diablo. This is in Arizona. We actually found a meteorite piece. We brought a metal detector because it was on the itinerary. We actually found a little meteorite piece, and I have that now in my office. So this is the Grand Canyon. I'm sure mostly, if not everybody's heard of the Grand Canyon. I was not terribly impressed. It was just the way that they did it, and the U.S. Park Service, and I don't know. It's breathtaking. It's beautiful, as you can see, but and the size and scale of it, you just have to be in awe of when you're standing next to it. But again, it was incredibly hot, and yeah, it wasn't my favorite thing that I've ever done. But as you can see, gorgeous views, really pretty area. It's one of those things where you have to do it one time, so I get it, but I would never feel any need whatsoever to go back. Like, been there, saw it, done it, I'm good, and I'm content. I wouldn't discourage anybody from doing it. I think it's one of those once in a lifetime have to do, but it's just that once, and that is it. So I believe that there's a couple more pictures of that, and then we'll get to. So again, just a beautiful area, and it's huge, but ultimately it's just a hole in the ground. So, you know. Oh, it's so pretty. And that's what I felt like right there. So pretty, but especially in my defense, when you've been driving through very similar for days, it all kind of just blends together after a while. So that's my endorsement and criticism of the Grand Canyon. As you can see, there are so many pictures. Because I didn't feel like I was ever going back. This is like, this was cool. This is also in the Grand Canyon Park. It's like a sandstone tower. You can go in the tower. They've obviously modernized and updated it, but it was a historic tower. And there's a couple more pictures of the Grand Canyon. Hopefully we're through these soon. Okay, now we're through those. So this is just a random formation side of the road. Another one. I should have screened these pictures prior. However, I did that and then it didn't work like I wanted it to. So, train wreck, and we're here. So this is actually getting into better things. So there's a trail that they call the Sidewinder Trail, and it's all these hairpin turns, like you were talking about, hairpin turns, very narrow streets. I think you can, maybe that's one of them right in the middle there. So it's just nothing but desert. Nothing but desert. And just crazy. Like there was a truck with a camping trailer. I felt so bad for him because he was they're just hairpin turns, and I think there was like 96 of them. I don't remember exactly, but just tons of them, and it took quite a while to get through there. But there was some really pretty things to look at on the way. And okay, so here's where I was getting to. So this is Seligman, Arizona. It's a town. It's an old mining town that's kind of overrun by donkeys. This was coming into Seligman, and there's just donkeys in the middle of the road. It was the craziest thing. They also had so there's a donkey coming up to our rental car. They just poked their head, and it was crazy. Oatman. Sorry, Seligman's the next town. Oatman, Arizona. So this is the sign coming into town. There's a strategically placed donkey, and as you can see, there's donkeys on the sign. Saw some wild donkeys outside of town too, but most of them were in town. So this is the main stretch of town. They actually do like a show at high noon every day, where they have like a bank robber gunfight in the street kind of show in the old western garb and stuff like that. It was cool. But yeah, so donkeys just roam. They go into the stores. They follow you around. Like these are like the gift shops, and yep, there's just donkeys just chilling in the gift shops. So friendly. Oh, this is a payphone, and trying to explain to my kids what a payphone is. So it's my oldest learning what a payphone is. And this was an old mine shaft in Oatman. So that takes us to the Hoover Dam. Again, really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was a neat little surprise city. We also thought it was like a city, and I didn't stop and get gas, and so the Sidewinder trail took a lot longer than I thought, and then I thought there was going to be gas in Oatman, and there was not, because it was not that type of town. And then so we almost ran out of gas in the middle of the desert in Arizona. It was like I said, it was like 130 degrees that day. My wife was so excited about that. I never hear the end of it, even today. But anyways, we made it. We lived. It was fine. So this is the Hoover Dam, and a very impressive structure. However, again, it was so hot that it was insane. This is the road coming in. You can see the power lines kind of hanging out there. I mean, it was neat, but we did not spend much time because it was very, very warm. And as you can see, I don't know if anybody paid attention to Lake Mead, but the water levels are down. As you can see in this picture, the darker brown is where they used to be, and the white would have been covered with water. So, this light brown would have been covered with water. As you can see, the water level is way, way down, and it got worse after we left. So, and that's the front of the dam. Just a massive construction project. Really cool. Yeah, I couldn't believe that there was a phone where you had to to pay to use it and not your cell phone. So here's the Hoover Dam Bridge coming in, and the outflow river. So Hoover Dam's cool. I would suggest visiting, but not on a hot day. So now we come into Nevada, and geez, this is my longest stream I've ever done. It's fun when you're talking about something you like. So stopped randomly as we came into Nevada to take a picture of this random sign of a city in Nevada, Cal Navari. So it's California, Nevada, and Arizona, and it's just a random sign. So this I kind of, yeah, this shouldn't be in this one either, but so this is the start of the Mojave Desert. So we're actually in California right here, but you wouldn't be able to tell by anything. Like there's no difference between the two sides, except for the gas. The gas went up to like $7 a gallon as soon as you cross the border. Insane. So, and it was cheap that summer. So it was like $1.83 in Arizona, and it was like $7 in California, like 5 miles apart. Ridiculous. So now we are actually getting into, we went up to the extraterrestrial highway and Area 51. Now, there are certain places that you can't take pictures of there. Yeah, cassette tape, like a VCR. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. So, but yeah. So this is up by Area 51. It's very well enforced that you're not supposed to take pictures of certain areas. So we took pictures of the areas outside of the areas that you can take pictures of. I love a good conspiracy theory. Like, it's just vast nothingness. I like a good conspiracy theory. I don't know. I think aliens is a cool topic. And I think it was cool to kind of investigate. And so this is in Vegas. This is out the window of our hotel, and I had to take a picture of the gold Trump Tower in Vegas. Thought it was cool. So. And that is the end of our journey. Like I said, oops. That's not what I want either. So we started, as I said, here in Detroit, Michigan. We drove to Chicago and then took Route 66 all the way down. Well, actually, I can just bring up the picture. Oh, it didn't get ridiculously sized. So we started over here kind of in... Is it not up? Oh, there we go. So we started over here in Detroit, Michigan. We drove across Michigan to Chicago, took Route 66, did a little detour in Kansas to visit family, continued down on Route 66, went all over New Mexico, like up, down, and around. Jumped back on 66, went all the way out to California, then drove up to Vegas and flew home from Vegas. Total of 4,000 miles, and I think it was 16 days. Really fun trip, a lot of driving, and a lot of time. So that's it for me today. Like I said, longest stream I've ever done. So it was fun. I'll probably do more of these. Maybe next I'll do Alaska or something else. So just kind of take a trip through where I've taken a trip through. So yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here, and thanks for taking a look. And Unicorn, as always, thank you for showing up. So I'll talk to everybody later. Have a